Good morning, everyone. Today is June 16th, 2024. It's been a minute since I've given an update. All the plants are in the ground now. It's very early in the morning, so I wanted to walk through the garden and talk about what I've done. So this is just an overview. We do have some veggies over there. Usually this whole garden is filled with veggies, but this year the flowers are taking priority. I'm going to start over here. This was kind of just whatever I had extra of. So zinnias, there's one dahlia in the back there. And then along the front, I have some straw flower, some celosia, and kind of goes all the way down the edge here. I still have some gardening stuff outside of the garden, some extra Portanola netting, and my kneeling pad. I did decide to use landscape fabric because we get a lot of weeds, and I just figured this would be easier for me. And then for the holes, what we did is we used either a small terracotta pot, or we actually bought one of the dryer hookups. It's like a metal piece, and we used a blowtorch and a wrench with a rubber handle, and that's how we were able to melt the holes into the plastic. You don't want to cut it because it'll fray, so melting was the best way, and it worked very well for us. Just you have to be very careful. So we're just going to walk over here in the front. I decided to do gomphrena since it's pretty low to the ground. So we have a mix of all the gomphrena that I started, a lot of whites and pinks. Some of them are starting to bloom now, which is really exciting. Over here I have some more gomphrena in the front, and I had a few extra straw flower. These are the peach straw flower. They're very beautiful, very healthy plants. I did pinch them so that way they'll start to branch. Over here are some pink gomphrena that I bought at a local plant sale. They sell a variety of specialty cut flowers, so I decided to pick some of these up. And then this is just another patch that I started inside, and I believe these are all white. And this is the pink bloom as well. So we'll start on this row first. This row has some salmon scabiosa. They don't look that great, to be completely honest, but it is still early. They look a lot better than when I planted them. And then over here we have the Fama White, and they're starting to really grow now. I do have this netting up to help support the flowers, especially the snapdragons, since they like to kind of topple over. So over here we have some snapdragons. Again, at that same plant sale, I did buy some snapdragons that I wish I bought the seeds for. They're the, I think, Madam Butterfly variety. I'm not sure the exact color variety name, but I know it's a pink and a white. And they're supposed to be like a doubled snapdragon. So I'm very excited for those. Not quite blooming just yet, but soon. And then over here are the ivory snapdragons that I started, and they are starting to bloom. This is the Potomac apple blossom. So we have a lot of snapdragons. I didn't count how many I have, but I definitely have a lot. Over here, I have some dahlias. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with them. I have been fertilizing quite a bit, so I think it might be some fertilizer damage, but the others look pretty good. And these are the floret dahlias. So I have no idea what color the blooms will be, but excited to find out. Over here, I have florets celosia. I have a little pinwheel here that helps to keep the little bunnies away. And over here, I have the explosion grass. I'm a little bit worried because it is starting to bloom now, which, according to when I started it, it should be blooming closer to the end of August, September. And they only bloom for a total of 6 weeks. So hopefully they'll throw out some more blooms as the season goes on. But yeah, you can start to see they are starting to bloom. There's another bloom right here. I do have quite a few plants, and I did do multiple successions, so there are some that are still a lot smaller. The plant is very interesting though. So when you start it, it's just one stalk, and then as you can see, it like branches off. There's so many branches in here. So I thought it was just a one stem plant, but it kind of branches off, and there's, like I said, there's a ton. That's very interesting. First time growing this, which I know is pretty daring. First time growing a lot of these flowers for my wedding. Same thing with the celosia. I must say, I did not have good germination on the celosia. Again, it was my first time ever growing it, so I don't know if it was an error on my part or the seeds, but they didn't really do that well for me. Now we're going into Cosmo territory. We have a ton of cosmos. I didn't realize how many I have until I started planting out. There are quite a few here. I did pinch all of them, so they're starting to branch now, and I have a double layer of Hortonova netting to kind of help support them. And here we have the double click white and then also apricota. And we have a bud for the apricota. Sorry, there we go. We have two buds. We're going to start in the next row. This is the dahlia row. I have two dahlia rows, well, a row and a half. Right now, I don't really have much walking space, so I can only imagine once these plants start to grow, but I had to do what I had to do in order to get all these plants in. At the end, once the season's over, I am going to count all the holes to see exactly how many plants I was able to fit in this space, because we have a lot of plants here. Sorry if the lighting's kind of bad here. So these are all of the dahlias that I had ordered. I did not label them. I have way too many varieties to do that. And to me, it doesn't really matter what the variety is as long as I have a bloom. I do have an empty spot there. One of them did rot. I didn't like the way the leaves looked, so I decided to pull it out and see what was going on, and it was completely rotted. So I tossed that and I popped in a cafe au lait. So we'll see if that one starts to pop through soon. But they all look really good. They've all been pinched at this point. And again, I have that netting to kind of help support them. So not too much to really say here. Dahlias are kind of slow to start, but once the heat starts, they'll really start to pick up. In the next row here, I have a few dahlias in the back. And then this is my straw flower row. I did pinch all of them, so they are starting to branch now. And this is a mix of peach, white, and blush straw flower. In the last row, I have a bunch of amaranth. They're growing pretty fast, so hopefully we'll have some blooms for the wedding. I do have some smaller ones here, and I actually have some that self-seeded in my garden bed in the back. So I think we should be good. I have some leftover cosmos, and then I also have some zinnias as well. This is the App and Glow Clean Lime Blush and a blush variety. Two of them are from Floret. No buds on them yet. I did start them a little bit later, so that way we'll have some blooms towards probably the end of July, beginning of August, and hopefully that'll carry us through until September. And then this is the rest of the dahlias that I have. Again, I do have some bare spots. Those were some that I needed to fill or that rotted. And a lot of these are the ones that I started inside from cuttings, which is very cool. I do have a little bit of netting up because the squirrels will love to dig up any dahlia bulbs that you have, tubers rather. I do have some that are starting to pop up here in the back. Little growth point there. And this little grouping here is the dahlias that I saved from last year. This is Melina Fleur. This one is usually the first to bloom in the garden. It grows very, very fast, and it's a good tuber producer as well. So this is the Lisianthus bed. Don't mind the mockingbird above me. These I did purchase from a local plant shop, the one that has the specialty cut flowers. And then I also ordered, I think, 24 from Burpee as well. They're the smaller ones in the back. So it's kind of nice to have a succession. They are starting to bud up. I don't have any experience with Lisianthus, so this is all new to me. But I have a pink and a white variety. I also have my garlic here. I just harvested the scapes. So in about 4 weeks, we'll be pulling the garlic. And I have a small tray of zinnias that I'm going to be placing in its spot. I also have some onions in the front as well. And then this is the Love in a Puff vine. It was doing so well indoors, and then once I brought it outside, it kind of got scorched from the sun. And then after that, it hasn't really been the same. It's starting to put on new growth, but I was expecting it to really want to climb, and it hasn't really done much yet. And I have this one over here that just does not want to attach itself for some reason. And same thing here, not too much growth. But the Lisianthus are looking pretty good. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching my seedling update for my 2024 September wedding, growing my own flowers. So far, everything is growing well, and hopefully that continues. Now, I am going to be purchasing all of my greenery, and I may purchase just a few flowers for my wedding. I definitely want some roses. So, those are things that I will have to buy. And then also, depending on what things look like a little bit closer to the wedding, if I don't have enough snapdragons or anything else that I kind of want for that filler, I may end up purchasing at a local wholesale floral shop. But I will try to continue to do these updates monthly so that way you can see the progress. And I'll also be posting some shorts as well so that way you can kind of see what's going on in the garden. Have a great day. Bye bye.